How's it going? Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Hope everybody's having a good day so far. So, for today's class, we are going to need one long and one short stick. Okay. We are going to get into some hip and core drills. So the core drill specifically is going to be from a quadruped position. So basically something similar to a bear crawl. Okay. So the hip drills are going to be kind of simple, but they are going to be a little bit challenging because we are going to be holding a hip flex position for a little bit longer than we usually do. So those ones are going to be fun. And so for the deep fascial stretching, we'll be focusing a little bit on the spiral lines, working on opening up the T-spine, also opening up the hips. So it's going to be a very interesting class today. So I do have a pad for us to kneel on because we are going to work on stretching out the hip flexors and the adductors as well. So without any further, stalling, let's get into it. So I'm going to place one stick down. I'm going to keep my short stick here, okay? And I also want to start with a little bit of a dynamic warm-up. So I'm going to turn this camera a little bit more so I can actually kind of see. And so what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to step back and forth, but we're going to do a little bit of kayaking here, okay? So I want to have my feet roughly about an inch apart, not too far apart. I'm going to start with my right hand up high, okay? From here, I'm going to step forward with my left, and I'm going to swim through with my right, come up and over with my left hand, and step forward with my right. As I come back, I'm going to step back with my right leg, step back with my left leg, here, nice and slow. So you want to keep it controlled, you want to make sure you stay balanced as we take steps back and forth. Good, step back with the right, step back with the left. Good, step forward with the left, step forward with the right. Now step back with the right, and step back with the left. Let's go one more time. Step forward with your left foot. Good, step forward with the right. Step back. Step back. Good, okay. We're gonna go take a wide stance, as wide as whatever's comfortable. Let me get up a little closer here. So, from here, okay, I want to have the stick across my chest. What we're going to do here is we're going to side lunge, and as we do that, we're going to rotate. So we're going to rotate towards the side that we're driving off of. So if I'm pushing off my left leg, I want to rotate to my left, okay? So feet are going to be angled out just a little bit, okay, just to make sure it's comfortable here. From here, I'm going to start by lunging over to my right. So I'm going to drive off my left leg, and then I'm going to rotate, and I'm going to drive that right hand through. Come back to center, drive off my right leg. Now I'm going to come over to the left, make sure I'm driving off the right leg here. Drive that left hand forward and across. Come back to center. Good. Drive off the left leg. Should be feeling that T-spine open up a little bit here. Good. Drive through. Excellent. Push up. Let's go one more each way. Drive through. Make sure you breathe. Don't hold your breath here. Just warming up, just getting a little bit of movement in. Good. Excellent. Push up. Okay. From here, I'm going to turn to the side for this. You're going to stay in that wide stance. Okay. Now from here, what I want to do, I want to grip out on the stick as wide as I can. Basically wide enough to where the stick is right at your hip crease. So from here, what I want to do is I'm going to start to hinge my hips back, and I want to slide the stick going down my legs, and I'm using my legs as a guide. Now what we want to do is we want to make sure that the spine stays as neutral as possible. We're just looking to get a little bit of a hamstring stretch, okay? Then I'm going to come back up, squeeze those glutes. Good. Go back down into it again. Drive those hips back, nice and far. Breathe. Back up. Squeeze the glutes all the way to the top. Okay, let's go again. Hips back. Good. Back up. Excellent. Let's go ahead and wiggle those feet in. And now I'm going to turn forward because now we're going to add in a little bit of rotation to that. So my feet are going to be at about hip width apart, toes are pointed forward. Now at the bottom position of this, we're going to allow the mid back to round, and we're going to rotate side to side as if we're turning like so, okay? So hinge the hips back, allow the mid and upper back to bend over, okay? Then I'm going to rotate like so, okay? Then we come back to center and rotate to the other side. You're gonna feel a little bit of a stretch in the low back. So we're going forward, is trying to loosen everything up. Come back to the left. Good. Rotate to the right. Let's go one more time. Rotate to the left. And rotate to the right. Back to center. Slowly come up. Excellent. Okay, I'm going to place my short stick down and grab the long stick here. So I'm going to take the long stick, place it behind my back, on my mid back, and I want to have it in the crooks of my elbows here. Okay. Now, stance width is going to depend on you, right? Also going to depend on your mobility. So I want to have a wider than shoulder width stance. Toes can be pointed forward, but you can have them slightly out if you'd like. What we're going to do from here, we're going to hinge back. Okay. So get a good hinge going. I'm going to take my right hand that's on the inside of my leg, and I'm going to leverage that hand sliding down, getting rotation here. I'm going to slowly come back. Then I'm going to rotate to the other side. Drive off that left hand. Get that rotation. Good. Come back. Slide that right hand down that right leg. Good. Come back. Slide that left hand down the left leg. Good. Let's go one more each way. Slide that right hand on the inside of that right leg. Make sure you breathe. Come back up. Slide that left hand going down the left leg. Good. Want to come back. Stand up and ease off. So now we're going to get into the hips and pelvis. So we're just going to kind of go through a few quick ones. We're going to start with pelvic tilt, anterior, posterior, then we're going to get a lateral, okay? So I'm going to turn to the side here. So I want to make sure my feet are a little wider than shoulder width, all right? Hands are stacked out at roughly chest height, stick is angled in towards me. I want to generate tension into the floor, all right? Turn on all the anterior tissues. So from here, I want to squat down a little bit, make sure my knees are tracking forward, pelvis stacked under the spine, drive the stick into the floor about 30% tension. Then I'm gonna do a posterior tilt, squeeze my glutes and drive my knees apart. You're gonna feel all the glutes turn on here. Now I'm gonna do an anterior tilt. I'm gonna tilt my pelvis the opposite way. Should feel those low back tissues turn on. Good. Posterior tilt. Squeeze the glutes. Feel those glutes tighten up. Anterior tilt. Good. Posterior tilt. Anterior tilt. Make sure you keep control of that rib cage. Posterior tilt. Last one. Anterior tilt. Back to center. We're going to turn forward. Now we're going to get into lateral tilting. So switch your hands. Okay. So driving that stick into the floor. Getting a little bit of a squat going here. Remember, pelvis is stacked under the spine. We're going to go into a light posterior tilt. Then I'm gonna bump my hips up to the right, feel that right glute tighten. Then I'm gonna bump my hip up to the left. My right hip should be dropping, okay? So bump my right hip up, left hip drops down. Bump the left hip up, right hip drops down. Good. Bump the right hip up. Good. Left hip up. One more time. Bump the right hip up. Good. And bump the left hip up. Excellent. Back to center and go ahead and ease off. Okay. Now I'm going to grab the short stick just because we can use both sticks here. So I'm just going to work with internal external rotation just a little bit here just to warm up the hips. So I only want to use the sticks as a way to tap, right? We're not pressing any force into, we're just tapping here. So I'm going to have the sticks angled in towards me. Now I'm going to start with my right leg. So notice that my right foot is in the middle of the sticks here. I want my hip to come straight up. I don't want it across my midline. So from here, sticks angled in towards you, drive the sticks to the ground about 30% tension, bring that right hip up, bring that knee up to 90 degrees. We're just gonna start to rotate. So I'm gonna rotate my foot outwards towards the right stick and then back in towards the left. And we're just gonna keep that movement slow and controlled, going back and forth. Breathe. Good. Let's go a few more taps here. There we go. Last one. Back to center and down. Ease off that tension. Now we're going to switch sides. Okay? Drive both sticks down. Remember, it's only 30% tension. We're just trying to warm up the tissues. So I'm going to bring my left hip up. Good. Hold that position. Start with the internal rotation. To the outside stick. And in. Out. In. There we go. Keep it going. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. Last one. In. Back to center. And down. Excellent. All right. We're going to switch gears here. We're now going to get into the strength training. Let's get into the fun stuff. So now we're going to go to that quadruped position like I talked about earlier. So we're going to get in that bear crawl position. And so I'm going to adjust this camera a little bit. Right about there. Okay. I just want to make sure that the stick's out of the way. So what I want to do is I want my initial position to be here. Now if I turn from the side, my hands are under my shoulders and my knees are under my hips. I don't want to be in this position here. Okay? So this is the position to be in. This is your starting position. Now the stick is going to be in the left hand, and I want the bottom of the stick in the floor. Now I want my left hand to be completely stretched out, and I want to make sure that both of my feet are driving into the floor. So ankles should be dorsiflexed here. Now from this position here, I'm going to hover my knees off the floor. So go ahead and hover, right? And I'm going to drive that stick into the floor. Now I'm going to pick up my right foot and extend it straight out. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Bring it back in. Place it down and ease off. Okay? So we're going to do that again. So how hard you're driving the stick into the ground is going to depend, but I would say let's go about 70 to 80%. You want to make sure you're creating a lot of stability here. So hover both knees off the floor, drive the stick into the ground, take that right foot off, extend it straight back. You should feel that glute squeezing. 3, 2, 1, back in, Place the foot down and ease off. Good. Let's go one more time here. Hover the knees off. Right foot up. Extend. 3, 2, 1. Back in. Down. Ease off. Now we're going to switch sides. So I'm actually going to turn forward here. So it's another view. So, going to set up in that same position. Right arm straight out. Left hand is under the shoulder. Hover both knees off the floor. Drive that stick down. Lift the left foot. Extend that hip out. 3, 2, 1. Bring the foot back in and down. Ease off. Good. Let's go 2 more. Hover both knees off. Drive that stick into the floor. Lift the left foot. Extend. 3, 2, 1. Back in. Down. Ease off. Got one more here. One more. Hover both knees off. Drive that stick into the floor. Lift the left leg. Extend. 4, 3, 2, 1. Back in. Down. Ease off. Good. Now we're going to go to a standing position. We are going to need both sticks for this. So, what we're going to do here, I'm going to explain this drill real quick before we get into it. We're going to have one stick at 12 o'clock, and the other stick's going to be out at like 2. If you're on the other side, it'll be more like 10. So, with the stick that's at 12, we're going to have the knee pressing against that stick, internally rotating. And then after that, bring the foot back to the stick to meet, externally rotate out to the outside stick and push, and then extend that knee. So, this is going to be a challenging one. So I'm going to set up both feet together, okay? The left stick's going to be at 12 o'clock. I want to have my hand roughly about chest height. So the stick, I want that stick angled in quite a bit here. And you can adjust this hand as you need to make sure your knee is in contact with it. So from here, my right stick is at about 2 o'clock. You can have it angled out if you're really, really mobile, or you can start about right about here. Okay, think about diagonal position. So you want to drive both sticks down into the floor about 50%. Okay, I'm going to bring that right knee up. I'm going to drive my right knee into the left stick. Now I'm going to internally rotate. Hold that position. 3, 2, 1. Bring the foot back to touch. I'm going to bring my entire leg out to touch my right stick. Hold, pushing that foot back into the stick. Now I'm going to extend. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Back in. Bring it forward and down. Ease off. Good. Let's get 2 more of those. Okay. Drop both sticks down. Bring that right knee up. Internally rotate. 4, 3, 2, 1. Back in. Good. Bring that right leg to the right stick. Push. Extend. 3, 2, 1. Back in. Bring it forward. Down. Ease off. Good. Whew. Almost cramping a little bit here. Okay. Let's go again. Drop both sticks down. Bring that right knee up. Internally rotate. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back in. Bring it out. Push. Extend. 3, 2, 1. Back in. Forward and down. Ease off. Whew. Okay, now we're going to switch sides. You don't have to, by the way, switch sticks as we do this here. Okay. Try to position yourself, position the sticks the same way, just mirrored. So right stick to 12, left stick's out. Okay. So drop both sticks down 50%, push. Good, bring that left hip up. Internally rotate. 3, 2, 1, back in. Bring that left foot out to the left stick, push. Extend. 3, 2, 1, back in. Bring it forward and down. Ease off. Good. You should be feeling that grounded leg working pretty hard here. Okay. Drop both sticks down. Left hip up. Push it against that stick. Internally rotate. 3, 2, 1. Back in. Left leg out. Push against the stick. Extend. 3, 2, 1. Back in. Forward. Down. Ease off. One more time, one more time. Oh. Arms straight. Drop the sticks down. Left knee up. Push against the stick. Internally rotate. 3, 2, 1. In. Bring the left leg to the left stick. Push. Extend. 3, 2, 1. In. Back forward. Down. Ease off. Whew. Take a second here. Now, we're going to get into a single leg RDL. What we're going to do here is we're going to alternate lifting each stick here. Take a second. Oh, my legs are starting to cramp here, folks. All right. So, I'm going to have both feet roughly about a foot apart, or sorry, an inch apart. And so, both sticks here are going to be straight out. And more like so, okay? So this is enough to make sure that we can reach out with the hands. So, get to that starting position. Drop both sticks into the floor. Should feel those core tissues turn on. I'm going to hover my left leg. I'm going to drive that left foot back, behind, reach my hands out. Now, I don't want my hip to bump up, right? I want to keep my left hip facing the floor. I'm going to lift the right stick, driving that left stick down. Place the right stick down, lift the left stick. Place the left stick down, lift both. Place both sticks down. Use my right hip and glute to come up, squeeze the glute, and ease off. Okay, we're gonna do 2 more. Drop both sticks down, hover the left, make sure you're grabbing the ground with that right foot here. Drive that left foot back, lift the right stick, drive that left stick into the floor, place the right stick down, lift the left, Good. Lift both sticks. Place both sticks back down. Come up. And ease off. Let's go one more time here. Doing good. Then we'll switch sides. Drop both sticks down. Over the left. Make sure you're grabbing the ground. Hinge back. Lift the right. Good. Place it down. Lift the left. Good. Place it down. Lift both. Good. Place them both down. Come up. And ease off. Good. I'm going to turn from the side here just a little bit. So now we're going to switch sides. So drop both sticks down. Sorry, I'm going to step forward a little bit. Drop both sticks down. Hover the right foot off. Make sure that left foot is grabbing the ground here. Drive that right foot back. Okay. Lift the left stick. Place it down. Lift the right. Place it down. Lift both. Place them down and come back up. Ease off. Step back a little bit more. Let's go two more here. All right. Drop both sticks down. Over the right foot. Hinge. Drop that right foot back. Good. Lift the left. Place it down. Lift the right. Place it down. Lift both. Place them down. Come back up. Ease off. Excellent. Let's go one more time here. Doing good. Okay. Drop both sticks down. Over the right foot. Draw the right foot back. Should feel that glute tighten. Lift the left stick. Place it down. Lift the right. Place it down. Lift both. Place them both down. Come back up. And ease off. Good. Awesome. Now we're going to get into the cool down here. Okay. We're going to start off on the floor. We're going to start off with stretching out the hip flexors here. So I'm going to take the pad. I'm going to bring it out here. So I'm going to start from the side because I want some awareness to how the hips are. Now, as we do this, it's really important to tuck the pelvis, right? What we don't want is the pelvis to bump up and out, or find that when we're shifting forward into it, we're doing this. Okay, it's not the desirable position. So, my right leg is forward, left knee is down. Going to bring the top of my foot into the floor. I'm gonna have the bottom of the sticks angled in, or at the line of my toes on my right foot here. Arms are straight. So, drive that back foot down, squeeze the left glute, tuck the pelvis, okay? And just wanna hold that position. We're not driving the sticks into the floor here. We're just holding this position, allowing the hip flexor to kind of open up a little bit, okay? Then we're gonna work in and out of this as we go along here. Ease off. Good. If you'd like, you can adjust your right foot forward a little bit more, okay? So here's where we drive the sticks into the floor, okay? So drive both sticks into the floor, Draw the back foot to the floor, squeeze the left glute, tuck the pelvis. We're gonna shift forward and backward, working in and out of the stretch. So I'm going to shift forward, hold for a second, and then I'm gonna come back up, still holding all that tension, and then shift forward again. Come back. Good, shift forward. Come back. Shift forward. Come back. One more time, shift forward. Hold this position with that right stick, open up to your right. You don't need to drive that right stick into the floor. We're just now lengthening that line here. Come back forward. Ease off, nice and slow. Okay? All right, we're gonna switch. I'm gonna face forward on this one. So, from here, same thing, drive that back foot into the floor, squeeze that right glute, tuck the pelvis, and just hold this position here. If you're really tight on the quads, you'll probably be feeling this mostly in a quad. Breathe. Ease off. Good. Now we're going to be shifting back and forth. So, drive both sticks down, drive the back foot into the floor, squeeze our right glute, tuck the pelvis, and then shift forward. Come back. Shift forward. Remember, you need to hold that tension. Come back. Shift forward. Come back. Let's go two more. Shift forward. Come back. One more time. Shift forward. Hold that position. Open up to the left. Remember, you're not driving that left stick into the floor. We're still driving the right stick into the floor. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Bring that left stick back forward. Ease off. Nice and slow. Good. Excellent. Okay, so now we're going to kick the pad over to the side. We're going to place my short stick down. I'm going to keep the long stick here. Now from here, we're going to get into the ninja flow. We're going to focus on a push-pull. So typically we don't do a pull apart and compression of the stick, but we are going to do that a little bit today. Kind of change it up a little bit, all right? So, move this out of the way. I'm going to take a wide stance. Again, this is always going to be as wide as whatever's comfortable for you. I want my toes to be angled out a little bit here. Stick's going to be on the inside of my right foot and my right hand here. Now, my hand is going to be at about face height. Again, it's going to kind of depend. Some people like to start up a little higher. So I'm going to lightly drive that stick into the floor. I'm going to create some tension in the lateral tissues here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to hinge my hips back, okay? And then the stick comes out to the side. I don't want the stick up overhead. I want the stick out to the side. I'm trying to get into a stretch on the pec and shoulder and that arm line a little bit. So allow that left arm to hang. Now from here, I'm going to reach across, thumb facing down towards the floor, and I'm going to pull the stick apart. You should feel your left shoulder kind of go a little bit more towards the stick and feel some rotation. I'm going to lunge to my left. Now from here, I want to compress the stick. Now you're going to feel a little bit of a shift in tension, a little bit more anterior tissue tension. Now I'm going to pull apart again. Hold. Now compress the stick and shorten. Good, pull apart. Make sure you're driving off that right leg. Compress the stick. Good, ease off some of that tension. Bring the hips back to neutral. Let go with the left hand. And come up nice and slow. Good, ease off. Let's go ahead and switch sides here. Now, the reason why I'm having you do a pull apart and a compression, we're just trying to shift that tension. You're gonna feel some tissues get a little active in this position here, so it gets our body a little bit more aware, a little more comfortable. So, same thing, drive the stick down lightly, create a little bit of tension in those lateral tissues, hinge the hips back, stick comes out to the side, get that stretch in the chest, the shoulder, rib cage a little bit. Now I'm going to do from here, reach across with that right hand, pull the stick apart, lunge over to my right. Good. Now compress the stick. Pull apart. Compress. Good. Pull apart. Compress. And pull apart. Ease off some of that tension. Come back up to center. Let go with the right hand. Come up nice and slow. Good. Ease off some of that tension. Wiggle those feet in. Okay, I'm going to place this stick back down. I'm going to pick up the short stick here. So we're going to get into some dislocates. We'll loosen up the shoulders a little bit, but we've done this one before where we're actually mostly moving one arm as the other arm stays a little more stationary. So I'll start from the front here. Grip this stick out as wide as whatever's comfortable. So the main objective with this is to make sure that, again, as we do this, we're not doing this, we're not doing this, we're not allowing that shoulder to roll forward. We want to keep the shoulder seated as best as we possibly can. So I'm going to have my feet roughly about hip to shoulder width apart. I want to squeeze my glutes, make sure I lock my pelvis into position. Now from here, I'm going to grip out as wide as whatever's comfortable. I'm going to pull the stick apart. We're just going to start off with a simple full dislocate. Pulling the stick apart about 20-30% tension, keeping my arms straight. I want to bring the stick up, over, back, and then back up and over. Nice and slow. Still pulling that stick apart the entire time. You can also grab the longer stick if you need to for this one, so you actually can grip out wider. Keep pulling that stick apart, 20% tension. Slowly come up. Good, nice and slow. Bring it back up and over. Shoulders should be loosening up a little bit here. Now we're going to change gears a little. I'm going to pull the stick apart still. However, my right arm is going to be the only arm that's moving here. So I'm going to slowly move this right arm up. So notice that my elbow gets close to my ear, and then this arm comes back behind. Good. My left arm is still pulling. Now the right arm comes up and over again. Excellent. Now I'm going to switch over to the left. So pull the stick apart. Left arm comes up. You make sure you pull with that right arm. Now from here, come back. Good. Left arm comes back up and over. Excellent. Good. Let's go one more each way. Okay. Pull stick apart. Right arm comes up, over. Good. Breathe. Nice and slow. Excellent. Left arm one last time. Pull apart. Left arm comes up. Good. Breathe. Excellent. Good. Okay. Now, just want to kind of do a little bit of side-to-side lunges. Again, the focus of this is mainly to focus on stretching out the adductors. So we're still going to keep the short stick here. And I'm gonna go with a pretty wide stance. I'm going to use a stick as a way to not only create a tiny bit of tension, but I can also rotate side to side, which can increase that stretch on the adductor line. So I'm gonna start by lunging over to my right side, so I need to push off my left leg. So I'm gonna have the stick more towards the right side of my body here, all right? Now, feet are gonna be angled out. I want my left foot to be pointed forward, okay, if you can manage. Right foot's gonna be angled out a little. That's what I'm gonna do from here. I'm gonna have my right hand on the stick, roughly about rib cage height. I'm going to lunge over to my right side by pushing off this left leg. I'm gonna place my other hand on the stick, and I'm gonna rotate the stick over to my left. You should get an increase in stretch in that left adductor, okay? I'm gonna bring the stick back forward, and now I'm gonna really reach forward with my hands, driving my hips back. Now I'm gonna bring it back up, push off that right leg, and ease off. Gonna do that again. Drive off that left leg, reach out, sink into it, breathe. Rotate to your left, rotate the stick to your left. Good. Back forward, push the stick forward, drive the hips away from the stick. Back up, drive off that right leg, switch sides. Good. So now point that right foot forward, left foot's angled out a little bit. Left hand's on the stick, right about where the rib cage is. Same thing, drive off that right leg. Good. Lunge over to the left. Rotate to your right. Breathe. Bring the stick back forward. Drive the stick forward. Hips back. Come back up. Push off that left leg. Good. One last time. Drive off that right leg. Lunge to the, rotate to the right. Keep driving off that right leg here. Good. Bring the stick forward. Reach the stick out. Back up. Push off the left leg. And good. Look at those feet in, nice and slow. Excellent. And that concludes today's Sigma Mobility class. Thank you everybody for joining me. Hope everybody had a good class. Wanted to do something a little different. So, catch you guys next week. Sorry. But yes, these do stay recorded. They're on YouTube if you happen to be curious. So, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Have a good day. See you later. Stay safe out there.